'Cause it's showtime, baby.
George, you know I was just undercover at a secret villains convention getting the lowdown on the deuce. Why does every secret villain and not so secret villains always have one of these? I can't figure it out.
You know, that's a good question. Why don't we ask our legal team? Hey, Suri, let's ask Suri.
Okay, Suri! Oh no!
Listen, Linda, listen. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Welcome back to our weekly live stream where we get to hang out with you guys, read your comments in the live chat. If you're tuning in real time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I want to thank, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Also want to say Happy Father's Day to the mothers out there that play both roles. So like myself, I played the mom and the dad. I played both roles for my son. So happy Father's Day to everyone. I hope you guys have had a nice, quiet day and that your nose didn't grow. Because if you nose, or was it nose? I always get the two mixed up. So how's everybody doing tonight? Behind me is a sample of some of the fun things that we're going to be auctioning off tonight. So if you want to join our live auction, I have pinned the comment in the live chat. Plus, but wait, there's more. We're giving away $250.
Did you say $250? Because I need to get a nose job.
Well,
I need a nose job.
You could definitely get lip injections for that much.
Well, what if we just go to court? Because now we're at $348,000. Woo! Woo! Oh boy.
Do you have a Father's Day song you want to sing?
Yeah, I do. But first, I want to get a chair that actually works. Okay. That'd be nice.
This one doesn't work?
No, it doesn't.
Then let's switch. Switch with me.
Too late.
All right.
Too late.
His nose must have special powers because somehow he transported from there to here.
What I really want to know.
It's not any better.
Oh my goodness! You've got to be kidding me. All right.
This one's not any better.
500 shares.
I told you I'd give you mine. I told you I would definitely give you mine. They want to know, how can you play with that nose?
It's not easy being green. Oh boy, that's a little bit better. What I really, they have questions, I have questions. My question is, how is it that it's always said that I'm terrorizing Otter Creek when it's known that I'm in Otter Creek? But when they don't know that I've been here all week, they haven't said one single word.
Well, I think I kind of know the answer to that. Okay. They think they knows, but they don't know knows.
They don't know knows.
Yes, so we only share a snippet of our 24-hour day. And the villains out there seem to think they know everything about our lives. Isn't that interesting?
By the way, as you see more videos from Ohio this upcoming week, am I here or am I there?
Maybe you're just a figment of their imagination. Because some of the ones that love to hate us have a broad imagination, like a scary one.
Well,
scary imagination.
What isn't imagination, what's reality is, I got karma to my left. I got karma to my right. I got karma every day, and I've got karma every night. So when the liars lie about you because of their jealousy and hate, keep on winning while they're spinning. We don't need AI to make songs. We make real ones. They're jealousy and hate.
I know some of those AI songs are awesome.
Like Blame Jeremy?
They're epic.
Here's one for the trolls who went to jail, and one for the crooks that are out on bail, and one for the fans of What the Hales who love to see fools fail. I got karma to my left, and I got karma to my right. I got karma every day, and I got karma every night. When the lies are lying about you because of their jealousy and hate, keep on winning while they're spinning the lies they propagate. Come on, sing with me, George. You ready? You ready? Here we go. I got karma to my left, and I got karma to my right. I got karma every day, and I got karma every night. When the liars lying about you because of their jealousy and hate, keep on winning while they're spinning the lies they propagate. So here's one for the stalkers who took their markers and put the signs around the town, and one for the
all yelling at each other.
and one for the deuce that the judge of truth laughs and turns him down. Judge, I was fired! And literally in the call this week, who withdrew? Well, I got karma to my left, and I got karma to my right. I got karma every day, and I got karma every night.
Oopsies doosies.
That's oopsie dootsies, all right. Well, when the lies lying about you because of their jealousy and hate, keep on winning while they're spinning the lies that propagate. Everybody now, you ready? Here we go.
Who's George?
Big finish. Here we go. Here we go. Got karma to my left, and I got karma to my right. I got karma every day, and I got karma every night. So when the liars are lying about you because of their jealousy and hate, keep on winning while they're spinning the lies they propagate.
What about the ones that enter into a home and stand over your bed while you're sleeping?
That creep? Oh my goodness, boy.
If that ain't creepy.
The insanity of the people that are coming forward, the victims that are. This reminds me of Lynette when we first shared what was going on. And these people all have the same story about these creeps.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever held them accountable. And we support you 100%. Family members of these creeps are contacting, coming forward. We support What the Hales 100%. These individuals have never been held accountable. Please take it all the way. And we are going all the way to
the court.
Meet me in the court.
Even if you because you're afraid to show up in person. There's so much evidence of a particular attorney and his wife driving all over the state of Florida, but for some reason Levy County is off limits.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't they want to meet their client who's so innocent that's standing in her truth? Why don't they want to meet her in person to defend? I
would think. Oh, you're hooked up to the. All right, I would think if you are if you're representing a client that you would actually want to see that client for at least once. I mean, you are going into court. You're going to be held responsible for legal fees, sanctions, massive amounts of money. And here's the craziest part, George. Here's the craziest part. Deuce, I can't even believe Scott Stark's wife literally forwards the emails from Deuce, manipulatively controlling Stark to the judge. And I'm going, there's no way Judge Davis is going to allow this to happen unless Judge Davis sees what's happening and he's going to hold Deuce accountable. And now Judge Davis has said, okay, all right, we'll let you bring in Deuce. And this is the beautiful part, because everything he tries falls apart in front of him. He is the worst, the best of the worst lawyers. Well, I don't know. There are some disbarred ones and some that retired so they wouldn't be disbarred. But, you know, it's coming for him. And so you have this freak literally telling Stark, I'm going to be there. You're going to call me as a witness, as if he is not going to be cross-examined in court and held accountable.
Well, this
Oh,
could
my
be
goodness.
one of the dumbest oopsie doopsies. Another
Oopsie
oopsie doopsie.
doopsie. I don't know. There's been some dumb ones. I don't know if this is the dumbest.
Most of the motions that he has filed has been denied. And so when Deuce first stepped into this, he was so confident that this lawsuit, the Fed lawsuit, would have been dismissed.
Yeah, he said this was a frivolous lawsuit. It was going to be dismissed. Now, here's the thing we're going to do tonight. Which, where'd my phone go? I didn't share on Facebook.
So those that are behind and haven't really kept up, because there's a lot of people that have interjected themselves into our lives,
grifters,
into our stories,
stalkers, literally.
And so that particular lawsuit that Deuce tried to file a motion to get dismissed, it's not dismissed. He was so confident that he was going to get it dismissed based on jurisdiction.
Well, he also said that thumbnail case, there's nothing going on in the thumbnail case. It's gone.
He was so confident that the thumbnail case, that there wasn't going to be a hearing for sanctions. But guess what? It's happening.
Well, here's the other thing, George. We also heard all kinds of things from Deuce. 1 second.
Deuce thought that he could walk in on this lawsuit and wipe certain attorneys with the wipe the floor with certain attorneys.
Yeah, that quite.
But then ran and then try to play off like he was fired, but wasn't fired because Crook said that he was discharged because he withdrew because he didn't want to be held liable for sanctions.
But we were also told that no, the federal judge never said Deuce was going to jail or anything. But then in a filing, we find out the truth. Isn't that interesting that we keep finding out that what I share is the truth? Yeah. Is the truth. And that probably stirs on a lot of questions from people. For example, like 56,000, where's the finished barn? I mean, there was a picture of 2 toilets, a bank of wood, but where's the finished barn? Wait,
all that money is going towards the porta potty that's
Yeah, Crook's porta potty. Don't ask him how he spends his money. Where's the play area? Designated funds for the play area. Where's the memorial? And most importantly, where is Tori? Where is Tori?
Well, she wasn't around.
Oh.
She hasn't been around as long. She wasn't one of the original fleas.
Well, I think she understands.
She was another one.
There is something very big going on. Tori, I just want you to know we appreciate you coming forward and sharing with us. And by the way, as the blind side backfired, the royal flush was flushed down the toilet. The poly mop was a poly flop, and then the hodunk was debunked and sunk. And now Crook, as of yesterday, is saying there's a huge atomic bomb coming. There is. Wednesday in Levy County Court. Huge. Sanctions, legal fees. And that's the beginning. Just the beginning.
Which means Lynette does have to appear in person because Judge Davis did say he wants all parties there in person. But then Stark's wife had to cry and moan and whine that he's sick, but he wasn't sick enough to travel all over Florida within the last month.
You know what? That's interesting that Stark can't come to Levy County for court, but Tubetown and here at the schoolhouse, we had a guest this week. As a matter of fact, I know you're going to bring it up later, but go ahead and bring it up right now. The female. Tubetown guest.
Well, let's look at what they signed in the guest book.
Okay, let's look at what they signed in the guest book. So we had a guest on site and ready for court by all stretches of the imagination. So here we go. What do we have here in the guest book?
All right, it says name
Samantha Wilson. What?
Date of visit 6/13/20. You know that Samantha Wilson. That
name is so familiar, huh?
Remember when Crook was asked if he knew who Samantha Wilson was during the deposition.
And he lied because that's Lynette's stepdaughter?
Or he was hitting the bottle. I couldn't remember because he's got on-site dementia.
So I wonder, what is Samantha Wilson doing here in Otter Creek?
Well, let's keep reading, shall we?
All right.
It says where traveled from, and she wrote St. Petersburg, which is maybe three hours away from here, heading to Iowa.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Iowa's known for corn.
Corn.
You know, and what do people do with ears of corn?
They
shuck
it.
They corn shuck it.
They love shucking corn.
And it says, message to the host. I braved it to come take some pictures. Thank you for all you do. My mother, Catherine, is a huge fan also. We love you all. And then it says tips for future guests. It says, if you don't like turtles, bring repellent.
Catherine and Samantha, thank you. Sending love right back to you.
So from what I'm understanding is Samantha was road tripping it from St. Petersburg back to Iowa and decided to make a pit stop.
I mean, I would too if her stepmonster is going to be in court on Wednesday. I would want to see this go down as well. Let's see. Are there any pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See.
All right. Oh, okay.
Where's that?
So that would be Tubetown 1.0. Yes.
Oh, the original Tubetown.
The original Tubetown. Which 3.0 is coming soon. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's Samantha. Happy.
Yeah. Whoa!
And Steve. Walmart greeter Steve here in front of the schoolhouse. And the other lookalike.
Do you want to come on camera or?
No.
We'll wait. Okay. All right. Okay.
And then Samantha's with her daughter, but I went ahead and covered her beautiful face because it's not fair to put kids online.
Agreed.
Faces.
I mean, we're not like Lynette putting children in diapers all over online.
Oh my gosh. She has posted pictures of her child in her diaper all over social media. And then she forgets that she did that.
Let's not forget all the videos she's put on there saying the most grotesque things about Crook doing things to this child. And I mean, just the nastiness of it all.
Lynette has even posted pictures of the child's port, her G2 port. Yeah. Like, how disgusting. Yeah. How gross is that? Ridiculous. All right, let's see what else. Oh, no, that was the end of it. But I do want to share that. I do want to share that. So we'll come back to that.
Okay. All right. I'm game. I'm game.
I do want to show another picture, though.
Oh, go for it.
I do want to show another picture.
As long as I don't have to look at Lynette or Deuce.
Maybe people will recognize.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe people will recognize this one.
Yep, they're probably going to recognize that one.
Oh, look who got arrested
again
for the third time.
Yeah.
Within what, a year?
For Ruggs, yet again.
Yes. Look, would you look at that? He was inhaling and ingesting. Remember when he did the same thing on their property with the child?
Yeah, and then Lynette told the sheriff deputy that he lives here, and yet she in court.
And then she lied and said
she lied in court that she's never had any rug addicts on the property at all. Yeah.
Well, she lied. Well, they lied recently and said that he doesn't live on the property.
Oh well, yeah, they did that as well. Yeah, I mean, really, how do you know what the truth is with these freaks anyway?
So when the report comes out and becomes available to the public, I'm going to look and see what address was marked down.
By the way,
who made the call to have him arrested? And if you look closely, look who arrested him.
McIntyre?
Arrested by CPD. You know what that stands for?
Chiefland Police Department.
Yes. So that makes me wonder, was he at the flea market with them yesterday and they called the popos on him? That'll be interesting once the report becomes public.
We'll have it very soon. I mean, if you think this past week in Otter Creek was crazy, you have no idea what's going down the rest of this week. Wednesday, you may think Wednesday in court is like a big day. No, the entire state of Florida tomorrow is a huge day. And
you think Lynette or Kirk will be smart enough to park 500 feet away from
the
Levy County Courthouse?
No, I don't. But Wednesday is going to be a day in court, and I have no doubt whatsoever massive sanctions and legal fees will be granted. I have no doubt. And I can't wait for Randy to cross-examine Deuce.
That'd be interesting.
This is going to be.
He probably didn't think about that.
Now
he's going to be a no-show.
Yeah,
how many people think he's going to be a no-show?
You think he's going to have problems breathing and have to go to the emergency room as well?
Yeah.
He'd start both.
Fake it till you make it, right? Yeah. Isn't that the saying? Fake it till you make it.
He has no idea what he's gotten himself into, but he will not get out without being held accountable. Interesting photo there. Interesting photo. Yeah, I'm curious, am I terrorizing Otter Creek again since I've been here so long and yet nobody has said anything?
No, but Deuce and his entire group of people that he has recruited have been terrorizing us.
True. Very true.
Yep. emailing us constantly, harassing us,
harassment,
terrorizing us
around the clock.
But I would love to see Deuce show us where we're personally contacting anybody or emailing anyone doing the same of what his people are doing to us.
Oh,
I would love to see that proof.
You mean when somebody cries like a little baby, a little balding baby, when I say, hey, you know what? I think your baby mama needs some help legally. And I'm the type of person who has no problem helping whatsoever.
Do you think Lynette knows that he wanted to unalive the mother of his child? Do you think she knows that these are recent threats that he's making?
Oh, well,
to unalive a human?
I guess we're going to find out in court. Depositions are coming soon too. Of course, we have to get through discovery first so we can get to deposition, and they've yet to submit anything of relevant.
But they keep talking about how they have all this proof.
Yeah.
There is a certain person who has an iPad with a ton of proof. Where's that proof?
Oh.
Which, by the way, that same person got served on my birthday.
Amazing.
So that,
by the way, we are going to share tonight. We've got a lot going on, but we are going to share tonight. We are going to share who begged for the deal. Which Dave. We are sharing it tonight. We are going to share it. We are going to share the exact Dave that begged for the deal. Now, let me make this very, very clear for everybody, okay? If it's MLS Dave, Making Liable Simple Dave, who is a lawyer who was under disciplinary action in the state of Michigan, you understand how serious this is. While others are out there continuing to defame and continuing to make a mockery of this court case, this individual who is a licensed lawyer, who has been disciplined, absolutely, but a licensed lawyer who has finally shut up and knows the reality of what this court case is, knows the depth of what this court case is, knows what he has done and what he can lose. You understand if it's him? You understand if it's him coming forward going, I want a deal, I want a deal. Yeah, I'm going to pay you money. I'm going to give you information. You can take Deuce down. I got it all. You can take them all down. You're going to put them away. You understand if it's him, the gravity and the weight that the others are going to feel. Now, if it's the weight, then you got the other stupid Dave who cites Burger King. Of course, I'm shocked he didn't have Pizza Hut and White Castle in there as well.
Pizza Hut,
Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut.
Where does Burger King fit in?
A Burger King. Oh my goodness!
Love to eat some Burger King.
So you have another individual who claims he's too fragile. And he's too delicate, and he has too many issues to go under this stress, and utilizing somebody else's money. I mean, the insanity of it all. We're going to share with you which Dave it is. So we've narrowed it down to 2 Daves, and we're going to share with you tonight exactly which Dave it is. Now, here's what I will share with you. We are communicating and talking about this because we shut down the deal. There was no deal. We don't need any additional information from any of these freaks or these fools, including Fleesa begging to share her recorded messages with Deuce. We don't need any of it. We don't need any of it. We have we have so much. It's overwhelming, the evidence. And so let me state this again. For the fullest extent of the law for all of them, there will be no deal for none of them. So one of the Daves came forward and begged for a deal, and the answer was no. The answer was no. And we're going to be sharing tonight which Dave it is. All right. What else you got tonight?
All right.
Mary Dale, thank you so much for the love and the super chat.
I do want to open up some fan mail real quick.
Okay.
Because we've been neglecting fan mail, and we've promised you guys that we would open up some fan mail when we were together. We're not going to be able to open them all up.
We are going to give away $250 tonight that you can use at all these places and so many more. Amazon. So a lot of this fan mail probably came from Amazon.
All right. So this package is from Deborah Walker, all the way from Ohio.
OH! I was there last week.
Yeah. This one says,
okay,
1 for pepper, 1 for salt, and 1 for legal.
Oh, Thank you so much.
And the note says,
$2 bills.
Jeremy and George, came across a bin of these at my local grocery store, immediately thought of Christmas in the Creek, had fun sifting through them all, and found 20 different ones. And then in here is a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Wow.
For Christmas in the Creek. And
Very
says,
cool.
My dad collected $2 bills and had hundreds of them. I have about 200 of them from his collection. One is for Pepper, one is for Baby Salt, and one is for legal fees. I have been a fan for almost 3 years and love your videos. Hope the kids will enjoy the cards. All the best. Debbie Walker. Debbie, this will definitely go to Christmas.
Thank you so much, Debbie. We appreciate your love and support. This is going to be a huge week, not only in Otter Creek, in the entire state of Florida. There are some very significant things happening. Very significant things happening this week.
This box came from Diane all the way from Middleburg, Florida. Here in
Florida. Okay.
And it says, there's a note in here, and it says,
you can read.
Dear Georgian ladies. Sometimes I've been practicing.
Nice job.
Dear Georgian ladies, just in case you wanted to try out some lips just for a bit of fun. And
wait, are you serious?
She sent a big old box of lips.
Are you serious?
Some lips.
Baby. Baby.
This is perfect.
You don't need.
This is perfect. I know. I think I know what I want to do with these.
Listen.
I think I know.
God made your lips perfect.
To do with these.
God made your lips perfect.
Who needs to pay for lip injections when you got these?
Yeah. We should auction those off tonight. That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh. She sent some to Megan too.
That'll be
Diane, thank you so much. This is perfect. Perfect. All right. So I know we've been going through timeline of events, where the channel started, which the channel was never What the Hales. It started off as HJH Adventures, which had a completely different email. And then when it became
completely different email, completely different sidekick,
right,
who I kicked out of my house 5 different times for physically assaulting me.
Which in my timeline, I mentioned that the name What the Hales didn't come into fruition until December of 2028 or 2018. 2018 is when we launched the name, that we made the huge announcement that What the Hales we were going to change the channel name to What the Hales, and then we came out with merch. That's when the What the Hales at Yahoo email came in.
Yeah, because Gmail wasn't available. So we were like,
Gmail was taken.
Let's see if we can do Yahoo, which I hate Yahoo's platform. I hate Yahoo's platform. Gmail is so much easier.
Gmail was taken. So.
Yeah, Gmail was taken. So yeah, it is what it is.
So we've been talking about the timeline of events, and I came across some direct messages that were shared on a third-party platform called Facebook.
Oh, I've heard of that.
There's nothing private about Facebook. It's a third-party platform. And so came across some messages sent between Lynette and a former friend, maybe, because she can't really keep friends. And this was the timestamp on this. I try to grab ones with timestamps so that people can get an idea of the timeline, because that's what we're talking about, is the timeline. And so the first one that I want to share is dated 2021. So January 6th of 2021. So you hadn't even met her then. The property wasn't even listed for sale then.
Correct. We knew nothing about a Lynette or a Crook.
And you didn't meet her until July of 2021.
When she lied and said that she owned the property. Correct.
Yes. So these messages are dated January of 2021. And so here it says, why am I being threatened over this beep with John and I
think you meant quack.
Supposedly sent you emails about dealing rugs. Wow. And I am not seeing my grandchildren because my daughter ran with them from CPS, had nothing to do with me. Why am I being brought into something he's doing? I am trying to leave him. So here, same song, same dance, where she's been trying to get Crook out of her life. She was trying to leave him January of 2021.
Same grift.
Yes. So here she brings up CPS, which she lied and said no, she's never had CPS called on her until she moved to Otter Creek.
Oh my goodness. And that was such a lie in court. We have so many records.
Yeah.
So many records.
So
from
here,
her own mouth.
Yeah. So here CPS is being involved. Where did Lynette live January 6th of 2021? Northport. So in Northport, she's having CPS involved. CPS is being mentioned, and then her being threatened. So she was threatened in 2021. So here it says, I am the victim. Here, my child is the victim. Here I am the victim only because I live with John Crook. That's not fair. But if you want to block me, that's fine. So then she goes on to say, whoever she's talking to is saying, except you're jumping me without context or source, then taking this BS to Facebook, which Lynette has a history of airing her dirty laundry out on Facebook, again, which is not a private platform. It's a third-party platform that's available to the public.
Well, let's be clear. Lynette has the history and the pattern of, as she even says here, claiming she's a victim over and over and over again by everybody. At the end of this, now she's claiming, and Deuce is claiming, she's a victim of Sean Martin, who defended her in Ohio court. And the best thing Sean did was shut her up. And that's what Deuce is scared to death of now, because she will, and I guarantee you, is going to throw him under the bus, and he is going to feel the full weight of the accountability of that.
So Lynette loves to throw out there that she's the victim and that the child is victim. And so again, it's the same song and dance. She moves from Northport, moves to Otter Creek. All of a sudden she's the victim and the child is the victim, and that John is the enemy, and that she's trying to leave him. John's not going to be, once I have him help me on the property, he's not going to be a part of my life anymore. So basically using him and then trying to give him the boot. But then if that was the case, why would she buy property 50-50 with him if she was trying to leave him?
Good question.
Why would, that's a huge commitment to buy property 50-50 with somebody if they were abusing her and she's the victim of him.
We bought property 50-50 and then we put it in a trust.
Yes. So then she goes on to say, I have heard a source. I heard it with my own ears. And if I'm not allowed to say so because I'm worried about myself or whatever, I can't do anything about that. I said, when I know who it is, I will tell you the person is supposed to call him back. So not sure what she's talking about. Again, this person saying you're jumping at her without context or source, and she's just attacking her that she's the victim, blah, blah, blah. So then here's another one dated January 6th of 2021 when she lived in Northport before she moved to Otter Creek, saying, why would Justin or Elaine use me like that? What I heard was if John posts any more about Debbie and ABCD, that Kate was going to release this info to the public about me, that she has info on the truth behind why I don't have my grandchildren and can't see them, and your text messages about buying or selling pills. That's the conversation I had.
And to be clear,
that's interesting.
Lynette had a protection order. Her grandkids had a protection order against her.
Which we know about because she posted on Facebook. She created a parental alienation face group and posted all about it there. Everything.
We don't even need a mole.
She's
the best mole we've ever had. So Corey has given us some great information, but Lynette takes the cake.
So if you remember, several months ago, we shared with you that the drug, she had posted that the drug task force came onto her property to ask her if they were selling pills. So they have a history of receiving and selling pills way before they moved to Otter Creek. Like, do you guys not see the pattern here? It's a pattern.
Is that the atomic bomb that Crook was talking about?
Remember when someone wrote a letter to Crook while he was in the hospital and Lynette opened his mail and that person, a woman, was asking Crook for pills?
And Lynette put that information out. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'll go get another drink.
All right. So
We gonna need it.
all right. If you want.
We gonna need it.
All right. So back to the messages. So here they have a history of buying and selling pills. What kind of pills do you ask? Prescription pills. Because they're both addicted to it. They're both on it. She has said that Crook is an addict. She has said that she will get sick if she's not on it. All right, so on to the messages. Again, this is January 6th of 2021. Here, whoever took these screenshots, it doesn't show everything, but this is all part of the thread. Here she talks about comes home, and he could give that COVID to my daughter and unalive her. Anyway, I'll be glad when it's all over so he can just be here doing the things he needs to do, even though he doesn't really help me in the house. I've been begging and begging and begging because of this adoption and the grandma giving me trouble. She keeps threatening CPS on me. I just need to get my house in better shape than it is, and ugh. So again, here's the pattern of her telling people that she's never had CPS called on her until she moved to Otter Creek. But here, clear as day, when she lived in Northport, the grandmother, the biological grandmother of the child, who she claimed to be her best friend is giving her trouble and threatening to call CPS. Why? Because her house was a dump back then in Northport. Why else would the grandmother, who is her best friend, even threaten to call CPS on her if her house was clean? Why would she need to get her house in better shape if it was clean? Why would her best friend, who's the biological grandmother of the child, even threaten to call CPS on her? It just makes no sense to me. All right, so on to another message. So this is the one where you talk about how you love turtles.
I did love turtles at one point. No more. No more.
I don't know if they can hear it, but the captions are showing. So Jeremy, for the longest time, Jeremy would always say how he loves turtles. And so that was like one of the six. And so fans would send a ton of like t-shirts with turtles on it.
Now we wear pork t-shirts.
My Aunt Camellia George wore that particular shirt. I gave to her to wear to see if you would notice.
And she didn't think I would notice.
You know, and so we had a ton of turtles, sent gifts, plushies, like toys of turtles. And so it's just interesting that like
Conky, you did pass out. Conky's in the chat.
You definitely passed out.
George and I were just watching that video together this week, and we were like, Conky was so passed out. Look at his hair. And I was like, I wish I had that hair. If only I had hair like Conky.
But I wanted to go over how Lynette contacted the local newspaper. She has a history of contacting the local newspaper, which she did. She threatened to contact the local newspaper when she lived in Northport, and she said she would take a polygraph.
She also contacted Mayor Dan, where Hale's headquarters is, and said if he threatened to go to the news station. We live in a village of 600 people. What news station? If he doesn't call me back.
So last week I shared like a little snippet of how she conveniently included what the Hales in her tortoise rescue article, which what do we have to do with her tortoise rescue if she was relocating?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, except to say, I'm a stalker. She's a stalker.
I got stalkers to my left. I got stalkers to my right. I got stalkers every day. I got stalkers every night.
So here she provided a picture of George, which we have met him in person the day that she gave us the 3 ducks because they were useless to her because they don't lay eggs.
So she was going to unalive them if we didn't take them.
So here's one of her tortoises. And then it says it's a Hale thing. Tortoise rescue relocates to Levy County. So then it says Otter Creek. One day, a homeless red-footed tortoise wandered up a driveway in Sarasota County and became the inspiration for a nonprofit organization. The tortoise is native to South America and clearly very far away from home. The driveway belonged to John Cook and Lynette Preston. Interesting that she chose Lynette and not Michelle.
What? That's not Michelle?
She contacted the newspaper and told them her name was Lynette.
I've heard that driveway is very, very, very small.
Why didn't she go with Michelle if she told McIntyre that she doesn't go by Lynette, that she goes by Michelle.
Never, ever, ever gone by Lynette. And
but here's a newspaper article written about her and her rescue, and she went by Lynette, who took in the tortoise and opened their hearts to rescue more. It's a Hale thing, has been rescuing animals for years and is relocating from Northport to Otter Creek.
Because that makes a lot of sense.
Here it says that they are native to South America.
So let's take them further north.
Let's take them further north where it gets freezing cold in the winter and in the spring. The organization has purchased land and is now in the process of building the enclosures needed for all the animals.
To be clear, there was no organization at all.
No.
It's the land is 50% Lynette, 50% Crook.
Never open to the public.
And if you don't think we know that 100% for certainty, knowing that we will never recover the $348,000 we've spent thus far, and we're probably going to be well over $1 million in legal fees, if not $2 million. If you don't think we know who owns what, you are as crazy as these freaks.
Well, if anyone knows how to look up the auditor's website, it's all public record. It's all public record. Anyways, it's not an organization. She was never open to the public, had no intentions of opening up to the public. And so what kind of rescue is that? So back to the article, it says not just rehabilitating the animals, Cook and Preston are fixing their lot as well. Their location had previously been used as a local dumping ground.
And to this day, still is.
Still is a dumping ground. Remember, there's snakes, there's
glass,
nails, and other sharp objects because that property was a dump. She knew that it was a dump buying it, but she moved here to save the child. The child can't play out in the yard because of all these objects, sharp objects and dangerous objects.
Wait, I thought the child can't play out in the yard because of the YouTubers or because of the standee cutout of Mayor Willis.
No. It's clearly here because it was a local dumping ground.
All right, I can't keep up with all the laws.
Local dumping ground. Right here in the article before any of this, we ever exposed these unhinged people, these crazed ex-fans that moved from Northport to Otter Creek to be close to what the Hales. And
obsessed.
And Cook and Preston
literally obsessed
are working hard to breathe some positive life back into the property. The land was profiled in its previous derelict state.
You think that tin on that crappy fence that's already all screwed up because of the weather and humidity helped on the derelict property?
Back to the property, the land was profiled in a video by the YouTubers, What the Hales.
By the way, she lied to me.
The YouTubers, What the Hales, who have more than 500,000 subscribers.
Lied to me and told me she owned it. She did not, wasn't even under contract. Had me trespass, do a video, had me multiple times, had me trespassing.
You trespassed
lying, complete and total lies.
Yeah. Yep.
Lies.
She didn't own the property.
She wanted me to film the property so she could get exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Lynette, I mean, this article in itself just shows that her motive to move here was not a good motive. She had a hidden agenda. And then when she was told no, when Jeremy told her, no, we're not going to promote your tortoise rescue. That's when she spiraled.
No,
she waited
you
for us
cannot ask for donations.
She waited for us to go back to Ohio and then posted the signs.
That's exactly what she did.
All right. And so it goes on to say, It's a Hell thing is currently home to 8 tortoises as well as an assortment of turtles and some fowl. While not directly part of their mission, they recently took in some birds that were in need of a home. Interesting, because some of those birds didn't lay eggs and they were useless to her.
So she was going to unalive them and asked us to take them.
Yeah, she did say that. And then it says there are no license required in Florida to keep a tortoise, so people get them as babies and do not always realize how large the animals will grow or how long they live. The owners don't know what to do with the pet, and the animal is let go into the wild. Tortoises can also dig and climb and frequently escape. Despite their reputation for moving slow, they can run. What?
So can Lynette.
What?
Lynette can run.
They can run? Tortoises can run?
Is Samantha in the chat right now?
Is she?
I just saw Debbie Vaughn tag her.
Kevin Grant, thank you so much. And then it says, some people take very good care of them, but a lot of people don't, Preston said. Perhaps the most notable resident of It's a Hell thing is George.
Samantha, you should just come into the back room and come on camera with us. All right, keep going.
Perhaps the most notable resident of It's a Hell thing is George, a 50-year-old, 22-pound sulcata tortoise. Sulcatas are amongst the largest tortoises in the world. By the way, notice how I highlighted 50?
Yes.
Did you 50 years old?
Yes.
Okay, I'll show you in a second why I highlighted that.
Okay. It's a lie.
Here, the organization took in George about 5 years ago because 5 years ago she posted a picture and they rescued George and he was 50 then.
He never ages.
So he's been 50 years old for 5 years straight.
Purgatory is the fountain of youth.
And when we met him, he was 50 then. He hasn't aged.
I bet you he's still 50 today.
All right. And so it says the organization took in George about 5 years ago after he was found in a Port Charlotte abandoned home. The bank had foreclosed on the house and George was left behind. When Crook and Preston received the call to rescue George, they hadn't been told about his size. So seeing him for the first time was a bit of a shock. George is docile, but curious and friendly and seems very at home in Levy County. Each of the tortoises in the care of the nonprofit have their own personalities and preferences. And then it goes on to say, 6, was that the right page? Yes. As a pet, their shells. Oh, she talks about tortoises. The tortoises know their names. They answer to them. Crook said, we fostered a tortoise who would play with our chickens. Tortoises absolutely love having their backs rubbed, Preston said. They will move toward your hands as you pet.
Tortoises aren't the only ones that like the backside. So does Crook and Little Dicky.
Yeah, paint chips.
They can't stop talking about my backside.
A common question the nonprofit receives is about the gopher tortoise. Florida is home to the gopher tortoise, which is protected as a threatened species and should not be touched or handled. However, if you see one on the road, it is legal to move them out of the roadway. If you stop to help a tortoise or turtle cross the road, make sure you take it in the direction it is headed, Preston said. If you turn it around, it will cross the road again and it might be hit. Help them across.
This is the same woman that took a child in the stroller on the road on Route 19, one of the busiest roads in all of Levy County.
What? She pushed a child in a stroller at dusk on Highway 19 in the wrong direction?
Yes. Yes.
So then she goes on to say, help them across, then leave them alone and they will be fine. The other error people make is making tortoises for is mistaking tortoises for turtles. Tortoises only lived on land, and people will sometimes try to help by throwing them in the water.
Oh, that must be why they had literally no water for the animals when wildlife came out and said, "Hey, you have no water for the animals," and they got cited for it.
Yeah, they did. They got cited for 3 things. Tortoises can live for about an hour underwater, Preston said. They hold air in their lungs for about that long. After that, if they can't get out, they will drown. Turtles and tortoises can be rehomed from It's a Hell thing if adopters can prove that they have the space and funds to care for the reptiles.
Wait, shouldn't the actual turd purgatory be responsible for sharing that they have the space and the funds to even have animals on the property when she states she can't even feed themselves, let alone the animals or the child?
This is true. This is very true.
All right,
it says Crook and Preston will not breed their animals or sell to breeders. And then it goes on to say, if you want to help, It's a Hell thing. The nonprofit recently received their 501c3 status, which, by the way, I think she let that lapse and no longer has that.
Well, she has no clue how to run a nonprofit or all the legalities behind it. She did so many illegal things with the 501c3. So many illegal things.
I think those the tortoises, in my opinion, was just a tax exemption.
By the way, my specialty, so as we talk about my undergrad is administration and Bible theology, and then from seminary, I literally went to seminary to get my master's in organizational leadership. And so most people hear seminary, they're like, oh, you have a theology degree. I do have a theology degree. But and it is funny watching the what the Hale's ecosystem members talk about what is God and what is not of God, and the stupidity that literally gushes out of their mouth. They have no concept of reality or truth of God's word. And so at the same time, my specialty is in nonprofit organization, and nonprofit is a tax status. It's not a business plan. Every organization, every business has to make a profit. Nonprofit, 501c3, that is the tax status. That is a tax status. All businesses, nonprofits have to make a profit. The difference is profit in a nonprofit goes back into the organization, not into the board of directors' pockets. That's the difference.
Okay, so back to the article. We're almost done. It says, meaning all donations to the organization are now tax deductible. So she was hoping that because people are going to donate to her, that they could write it off as a tax deductible. So those animals.
Here's the thing. There are people that actually gave on purpose because they knew she would not give the tax deductible receipt by the end of January each year. And so she is now in a major financial situation right now.
Yeah. There was one particular donor who donated $50 specifically to her and provided the receipt just to see if she would claim that she got the $50 donation.
And guess what? She did not follow any of the laws. Remember how they got Al Capone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So then it goes on to say it will also be able to provide community service hours for those looking to volunteer.
Especially rug addicts.
Information visit, blah, blah,
Especially if you're on rugs.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought that people can't come to the property because the child would get sick and then unalive.
George, this is Lynette we're talking about. Which personality? Lacey, Alexis,
so
Ruby,
here's what Mitch. Here's what I find extremely important and interesting about this particular article, because when we exposed Lynette and shared that Jamie told Jeremy that Lynette moved across the street from our 70 acres to be close to us, all of a sudden her story changed. No. I moved here to protect the child. Nowhere in this article that I just read says anything about protecting the child. Nowhere. I mean, unless we're blind, nowhere.
I mean, I'm getting old. My eyes are kind of failing, but I got hair.
Nowhere in there does it say anything about protecting the child.
My hair's dropping from my head into my ear holes, but
then once we exposed that, Jamie said Lynette moved across the street to be close to what the Hales. All of a sudden, no. She moved there to protect the child.
You know who would be
to be away from people. But interesting because that Holly Jolly Christmas event that was thrown by the fleas totally debunked all of that.
Well, I think it was for the fleas. Remember, there was fleas and lice all over in the shed and the campers, and so
because Lynette said herself she can't have people on the property. It would unalive the child. The child can't hug anyone. The child can't play with other kids. Nothing. She can't be around anybody. They have to wear face masks all the time. Interesting that an event just debunked all of
the funniest thing is the only person that wore a face mask at the event is the person that doesn't have 2 front teeth. All I want for Holly Jolly is 2 front teeth.
So she was either embarrassed by
2 front teeth.
the huge gap in her teeth, or the property smelled so bad that she wanted to cover her face because it smelled so bad.
I'm going with both.
Breathe it in.
Gonna go with both. So man.
So yeah, isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting.
The local news to do an article on her tortoise rescue relocating to Otter Creek, but nowhere in there does it say anything about the child, the sick child. And tortoises and turtles carry salmonella, which can be deadly to the child. So remember, Lynette wanted to leave this rescue as a legacy to the child, but if she is sick as she's claimed she is.
Wanted to leave Crook too. I mean, she's used that to get money from people, but yep, there they are. Her soulmate.
Her own article that was written by her, made available to the public.
Do you think they had to fix all the punctuation in there? And by the way, what's the deal with the whole what the Hale's ecosystem that doesn't understand how to spell, literally cannot spell, doesn't get punctuation, grammar, syntax.
I stutter sometimes.
Them? Seriously? Like them?
I mean, I struggle too. Not as bad as an embarrassing hers. I mean, her handwritten motion recently.
We're talking about court public documents from all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
The insanity that we have to.
I mean, I've never, ever claimed to be perfect. I've never claimed to be the smartest person in the world. But you would think that, like, if you're going to steal if you're going to have someone ghostwrite a motion for you and it sounds somewhat intellectual, and then you come in hot with a handwritten motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a low IQ.
Yeah. And then the person.
You think the courts aren't going to tell?
Illegally ghostwriting demands to be a witness in court on Wednesday. I wonder who else is going to be a witness. I wonder what that cross-examination is going to be. And here's the best part. Judge Davis can and probably will force sanctions and legal fees upon Deuce as well. So not only is he going to get it in federal, and it's coming. It is coming. Now he's looking at civil here in Levy County as well. I love it.
Well, one of the biggest things that confuses me is that Deuce specifically wrote that he was discharged, meaning he was fired by Lynette Crook, but yet here he is still publicly posting.
Crook literally publicly posts, threw him under the bus in Bonerless's chat, stating he's still helping us. That's illegal.
So that doesn't make any sense.
He cannot do these things without it being stated in the legal documents that he authored, he helped, and yet here he is doing it. And Crook,
so that was
yet
a lie
again,
that he was fired. That was a lie.
Oh, come on, we already know. All he was doing is trying to save his own backside. He has used Lynette and Crook for his only grip. These are scammers scamming scammers. And it's hilarious to watch them scurry and run and cry about Burger King. Oh, Burger King, which, again, we have that one individual that was begging for a deal.
Is it safe to say that Ducey perjured himself in the courts by saying that he was discharged?
My goodness.
But yet is
safe to say it? I mean, I think that's an absolute given that these things have happened, and it's going to be pursued in court as well against him. And so, yeah, this is the insanity of it all. Now he's trying to attack Sean Martin in Ohio, which Lynette and Crook are going to be back in Ohio. Here's the funniest thing. Deuce is stating that they're going to get rid of the PO and the contempts in Ohio. He has no idea everything that's happening in Ohio. And here's the reality. He spurned it on. He has done this to them and himself of what's coming in Ohio. That's not, we're running out of time, aren't we? We got to give away $250. All right, here's the deal. Everybody wants to know which Dave it is that came asking for the deal. And I'm going to be very clear. The answer is no deal. No deal. And that's why we're even going to talk about it. And yet we've run out of time yet again. So if you join us on our Whatnot auction, which is going to be literally, we're going to go from here to the Whatnot auction. We're going to be sharing
live auction.
The live auction. We're going to be sharing which Dave begged for the deal. And again, I can't stress this enough. If it's Dave with MLS, the reality of the seriousness of what is going on in federal court should smack these people upside the head like nobody's business. Now, if it's the other Dave, they could all go out for Burger King together. So we're going to be sharing that in our live auction. Like we're literally getting over there right now.
If you haven't downloaded the app for our live auction, I pinned it in the comment, and we will see you there.
Okay, you want my phone?
Sign off. Yep.
All right, we're going to Whatnot right now.
Our live auction.